Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
A woman named Marley was stopping by a motel in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in Alabama, to find a place to stay for the night after a long road trip, when suddenly she noticed something very strange in one of the windows. So she decided to record, and captures this. A dark figure can be seen behaving strangely on the window. Many viewers were quick to notice that it has an unusually large head, and repeatedly opens and closes the curtains while pacing back and forth frantically across the room. What makes this all the more creepy is that when Marley went to speak to the front desk, she inquired about this room and was informed that this room is empty and there is nobody staying there. So just who or what is this?
Alright, this is kind of creepy, but I don't know if this is more creepy or if it's more creepy that someone's filming somebody else's hotel window.
Have you heard of a book called The Kabbalion?
No.
Well, this should be right up your street. The Hermetics were Egyptians. It's where the Freemasons came from, and the alchemists and the people in the Middle Ages who preserved, the culture when the Dark Ages came. And the Hermetics comes from Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes thrice great, who was supposedly the wisest man or avatar or god from the Egyptian period. And the Kabbalion was their book. I don't know if the actual Kabbalion still exists. There are I have like one little short book of it, but they had a whole deep philosophy that is a lot like this. You want me to talk about this for a second?
Sure, yeah, please.
I mean, there were I think the Hermetics had like 7 principles. See if I can remember what they are. The first one is that you and I have no physical existence as entities. We exist entirely as thoughts in the mind of the All, or God. Sort of like the analogy they use is like in the mind of Dickens is Mr. Micawber and Pip and David Copperfield and all that. And that you and I only exist as thoughts in the mind of God. And they believe that the universe was entirely mental. That's what this was. That there really is no physical existence. And that it was all vibrational. And that one of the things they believed was that there's no such thing as opposites. Heat and cold are not opposites. Fear and courage are not opposites. They are just points on a continuum. And that the difference between fear and courage is entirely in the vibration. And so this is where the alchemy came in. They believed that if they could change their vibration, or change the vibration of lead, that they could change it into gold. And they had, the other things was, everything vibrates. The other thing was that everything swings on a pendulum. Everything goes back and forth from one thing to another. And they also believe that everything is male and female, and everything is created, comes from the union of male and female in the highest levels. Anyway, it's great. And
So this sounds like exactly the type of stuff we're studying, and if these are the principles or the founding ideas of the Freemasons, then it makes sense that they're trying to hide this stuff from us and that they're still working off this understanding. This is the stuff that they're trying to keep from us. Maybe these ideas are the real deal.
Everything you knew about Atlantis is wrong. Atlantis was not a lost continent that existed once upon a time, but it was a city able to fly. Ancient texts and legends have suggested that it was able to hover above the earth, and the Atlanteans were said to have harnessed a mysterious energy source, far beyond our current understanding, that powered their entire civilization. At the heart of Atlantis was a great crystal, also known as the Firestone. This crystal was believed to be a gift from the Anunnaki, enabling the Atlanteans to manipulate gravity and energy. The Firestone could focus cosmic rays and channel them into energy, allowing the city to float. Here is where it gets even crazier. Evidence of this technology isn't just found in Atlantis. Similar crystals have been found in ancient ruins across the globe, from the pyramids of Egypt to the temples in South America. These crystals were often placed in precise alignments with celestial bodies, suggesting a network of energy grids that spanned the ancient world. But this is where it turns dark. The misuse of this powerful technology led to Atlantis' downfall. An energy overload caused a catastrophic event, plunging the city into the ocean. Unusual underwater formations and advanced structures off the coast of the Bahamas fit the description in Plato's writings. This rewrites history as we know it.
Maybe the element that Bob Lazar is talking about is this crystal. Maybe that's how they were achieving this anti-gravity technology in order to get this city to float, if that is really how Atlantis was, if it really was a floating city instead of just a city on the ground. This is an interesting idea. I've never heard these claims about Atlantis before.
The problem is we've never seen anything other than us that manipulates its environment. The intelligent things that we found in the ocean that are real are dolphins and orcas.
Yeah.
And whales. But like,
And what about
dolphins and orcas are crazy intelligent.
but like octopuses too,
Yes,
right?
that's true too.
Yeah.
But none of them, the octopus are very smart, but none of them have ever figured out how to make things. Like make houses and cars and ships, and it's all like they're out in the wild. There's no houses. I used to do a bit about how dangerous the ocean is because there's no doors. I'm like, there's no doors. No matter what, it's just
There's
fucking
caves.
sharks and crabs and no doors.
Yeah.
And everywhere you look, everything is eating everything.
Yeah.
It's literal murder soup because they all eat each other.
It's a ladder of eating.
Yeah.
Just everything goes up and eats something.
And at the top, you have killer whales that are eating whales. They eat everything.
But what if we're missing something? What if we don't see it? What if we are too stupid? What if we're just like rock monkeys?
Yeah.
And they're just like, they can't see down here. These guys have no fucking clue. You know when you're in a tinted car and someone's like,
So I really like this idea that there could be something technologically advanced under the water and we just haven't gotten down there to it and seen it. And so there's some advanced creature below the earth laughing at us saying, they'll never get down here and find us. This makes me think about the aliens and the UFOs that we have flying everywhere. I think that they're probably coming from underwater. And so this is likely, I know he's talking about sea life, but this could be potentially true. It could be that there's advanced creatures living under the ocean who view us as simpletons. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I make a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
In 2006, a 36-year-old man named Vincent Filya was living in the woods as a fugitive near Lugoff, South Carolina, after being accused of abusing his stepdaughter. In September of that same year, he saw a 14-year-old girl named Elizabeth Schoaf getting off the school bus and decided to abduct her. Posing as a police officer, Filya arrested Schoaf on a supposed marijuana charge and led her to his hideout in the middle of the woods. For 10 days, Elizabeth was chained up and abused by Filya in the underground bunker beneath the hideout in what can only be described as a nightmare come true. Still, the girl was extremely resilient throughout the whole ordeal and came up with a plan to escape from the horrifying situation she found herself in. If she wanted to escape, Elizabeth knew that she had to get Vincent to like her. For several days, she pretended to be in love with Filya, and eventually the kidnapper lowered his guard, even unchaining her and allowing her to play games on his phone. One night, while Vincent was sleeping, the teenager got a hold of his phone and sent a text to her mom saying she was in a hole across the Charm Hill, that there was a bomb, and to call the police. As it was later revealed, Filya had planned to draw in as many people as possible to the bunker to detonate a bomb and take the lives of the responding officers. However, he never managed to carry out his plan, for just a few minutes later the area was surrounded by helicopters and he was forced to surrender. To make a long story short, Elizabeth was able to move on with her life, and the monster named Vincent Filya spent the rest of his life in prison, where he died in 2021 in his cell.
That's a smart little girl. That could have ended very, very differently. This stuff right here just terrifies the ever-living crap out of me. I just can't imagine being able to go on if suddenly your child's taken away from you. Stuff like this is more terrifying than ghosts, demons. Someone stealing your child, that's going to hurt you in a way that something paranormal just can't.
Boeing whistleblower Joshua Dean has died suddenly after accusing his former employer of ignoring safety issues. His death comes 2 months after former Boeing quality control manager John Barnett took his own life. Before his death, 45-year-old Dean was fired from his job as quality auditor for Spirit Aerosystems, who made the door plug which blew out midair on an Alaska Airlines flight in January. Dean spoke with NPR after being fired, saying, "I think they were sending out a message to anybody else. If you are too loud, we will silence you."
The Boeing bodies are piling up. I don't know why no one's looking into this, but every time there's a whistleblower, they end up unalived, and it seems like it's always under suspicious circumstances, and no one's looking into this. This blows my mind.
Mr. Coy Davis, and my life is in danger. 3 years ago, I came off the Celebrity X Factor, and I met many new people, and one of which, an individual who I will not name, we began a relationship which formed, a friendship which was formed through music. Many times we had met, but on the last occasion, I was drugged and I was blackmailed. After I asked them for help, after I believed I was being filmed, doing sexual acts, and I was drugged. In Australia, I had many a good memory. Because after I was hooked on drugs, and after I believed what I believe to be, have been filmed on the dark web, and videos of me in compromising positions, and the blackmail that followed me. I was told by them in ways in which are not direct, but are absolutely true, that they were going to attempt, if I said anything else, they were going to attempt to kill me, threaten my family, and they also were trying to frame me. They seek to undermine me. They seek to make me look like I am paranoid, like I am crazy. That is why I have that diagnosis of drug-induced psychosis.
This is a sad situation, and I hope that this guy turns out to be okay whenever all is said and done, but it's not looking good. It sounds like he was at one of those Diddy parties. The reason I put this in here is I feel like we're slowly getting the rollout of what's really going on behind the scenes in the music industry. And stuff like this right here is how it's all going to come falling down. It's how it's all going to collapse. We need more people like this guy to risk it all and come out spreading the truth.
They're pushing the population right to the point of revolution. How about we give you nothing and you shut up and take it?
You're going to get a digital ID, you're going to get central bank digital currencies, you're going to live in 15-minute cities, you're going to tell you what to eat, your currency will be programmable, so we'll have complete moment-to-moment in real-time control of everything you do. Now, that's a heck of a gamble for a very narrow group of people to take with billions of people, because there's nothing in it for the people. And I think they have fumbled the ball. I think that's where there's hope. It only takes 5% or 10% of people to cotton on and do something about it and make the difference. And I think that in the final moves towards this kind of neo-feudalism, they have exposed themselves. They've gone galloping towards the finishing line too early, in the wrong way, and too many people have seen it. In there somewhere is hope.
So I'm pretty black-pilled for the most part, and assume that everything's just going to keep going downhill until it all falls apart, and this ride we're on is just going to keep spiraling out of control until the wheels come off. But I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to get a little hope in my life. And the way that this guy breaks things down and explains the population difference between those who seek to be in control and those who seek to not be controlled gives me a little bit more hope. We have the numbers in our favor.
Over half of older Americans are living on incomes of $30,000 or less a year. BlackRock's CEO Larry Fink, he shared his annual shareholder letter titled, "It's Time to Rethink Retirement." One of his solutions? Just retire later. He posits that because our life expectancy is increasing, so should retirement age. Isn't that rich? The average 401k balance, frankly, it stinks. Vanguard reported that the average 401k balance is $112,000. So think about this. If your 401k is your primary retirement vehicle and you've got the average balance, you too can live on $30,000 a year or less for nearly 4 years. Okay, so you retire, you can live on that for 4 years, and then what? What are you going to do after that? It's a joke. In about a decade, the Social Security Administration predicts the reserves to become exhausted. They will have nothing left. But the United States is fine to send $100 billion to the most corrupt country in Europe. That country is called Ukraine. So we're fine to do that. We're fine to send $30 billion off to Israel every few weeks. That's fine as well, right? But American Social Security benefits, that whole cash flow pile is being exhausted in the next few years. So this is what Congress's priorities are. Well, if you're not taking control of your future, you are screwed. You must do this right now. The retirement crisis is here. Most Americans are ill-equipped, and all of these systems and accounts that you're relying on, 401k, Social Security, they're all built to fail. So if you want to retire comfortably, you're going to have to go against the grain. And there are two main things you need to know about building a strong retirement. Number one, alternative accounts can help you actually reach your goals faster. Did you know there's an entire world of alternative retirement accounts out there? That's right. You have so many more options beyond your 401k.
And if you want to be able to survive whenever you reach retirement age and are no longer physically capable of working anymore, you might want to look into some of these alternative methods. Again, it's stuff like this right here that makes me feel so black-pilled, because look how horribly mismanaged literally everything is. It's all being done on purpose. They're trying to destroy everything so that they can rebuild what they want out of the ashes, and what they want is a system of total and complete control. We're just living through the demolition stage right now.
People ask me all the time if this thing can be hacked, and short answer is yes. But at this point, at least, hacking this wouldn't really do much. You might be able to see like some of the brain signals. You might be able to see some of the data that Neuralink's collecting, and then you might be able to control my cursor on my screen and make me look at weird stuff, but that's about it.
He seemed pretty comfortable with the fact that someone could hack this Neuralink chip and have control over his brain. I kind of get why he's not that worried about it, because there's not a lot of things that they could really have control over at this point, but give that thing a couple of software updates and he may be in trouble.
This, Mr. Secretary, is a bag of bushings. This bag of bushings, stamped out by machinists, don't need a high school diploma. It's not anything high tech about this. All of this bag is compliant with the FAA specifications. How much do you think the Air Force pays for this bag of bushings?
I don't know, College.
$90,000. This is a $90,000 bag of bushings that you need for any jet turbine engine just to operate. So the exorbitant cost due to DoD only buying commercial parts from the OEMs, which is essentially sole source, is literally driving us out of business. I mean, the interest on our debt alone is now exceeding, for the first time in American history, the entire defense budget. We can't afford it anymore.
$90,000 for a little bag of bushings. I put this in here because it's a good example of the controlled demolition of our country. They're intentionally overspending, and then they're just putting this money in their pockets. That bag of bushings doesn't cost $90,000 to produce. it probably cost $100 or less to produce a bag of bushings. And then this company is going to charge the U.S. government $90,000 for it? Tell me that's not the most obvious money laundering operation you've ever heard of.
They're always hitting at farmers for their environmental impact, even though we know that they use doctored numbers to talk about how much livestock impacts the environment.
We both know, and you alluded to it, that cows are contributing to climate change. As we speak, there's a new study that came out of Romania that said, guess what? We've determined the best answer for mitigating climate change, reintroducing bison. So bison and cattle who are cousins, bison are the answer and the cows are the problem. People are beginning to see through this and say, what do I really need to be consuming these animal products for? Because there's something they don't want me to know. It is that they make you healthy and will give you the ability to withstand any toxin you come in contact with.
And I think that's just one of the many reasons that they want to do away with meat. I don't think it's just that it's healthier for us to have a animal-based diet. I think it's more to do with control. I think that looks like they don't want us to be healthy, and that's why they're doing away with animals and trying to get us to eat insects and stuff. But I think it's more about control. It's more about seeing what they can force us to do and how long we'll put up with it, because they just want to control everything. They just want to have their thumb on us.
We are 8 billion people in the world, and nobody really knows where we come from. And nobody knows what happens when we die. You know, when people talk to me about conspiracy, why do you believe in these conspiracy theories? The biggest conspiracy is this, that we don't talk about what we're doing here. Society just wants us to go blindfolded and just work and consume. And whenever we think a little bit about, hey, what am I doing here? What is this? Is this the Matrix? What is this reality? Then, no, you crazy, you think too much. You've seen too many movies. Come on. You know, this reality is crazy. So when sometimes people, you believe in God and you believe in angels and the paradise, that's crazy. Nah, how can you believe that? Dude, this is crazy. This right now. This is crazy, okay? So if this exists, then why couldn't paradise exist? Why couldn't angels and demons and things we can't comprehend and we can't see, why couldn't it exist? No, 8 billion people, and we don't remember, and we are not supposed to care what we're doing here. I don't know, it sounds fishy, it's sketchy. There's something going on here. Somebody's hiding something. Somebody is hiding something. So yes, please think out there and try to reflect, what are we doing here? Try to find answers. Because one other thing, if you noticed, since you were little, you always want, at least me, I have always thought like this, that when I will start high school, life will gonna start and I will be satisfied. Some good things gonna come. Then high school comes, no, it wasn't such a big deal. When I start university, and then university comes, it wasn't such a big deal. No, when I have my first apartment, then I will be satisfied. Then my first apartment, wasn't such a big deal. When for my first girlfriend, this and that, nothing. My heart, my soul yearns for something else. And whatever society have told me since I was little, this is what you want. You want money, you want your own apartment, you want your girlfriend, you want this. And when I have accumulated those stuff, when I feel empty, I still feel empty. Do you feel empty? If you're there and you have all the things that the government and society has told you will make you happy, but you're still empty inside, then you need to wake up and think, maybe this is not the answers. Maybe I'm supposed to do something else here. Maybe the meaning of me being alive is much greater than just accumulating material stuff. I'm sorry, a little bit of rant, but yeah, we need to wake up. We need to think.
So that was just a really good PSA that I wanted to share with everybody, because I think that this guy is hitting the nail on the head. Everything that we try to accomplish in life thinking that it's going to give us some sort of satisfaction, it seems like the only thing that really brings any true satisfaction, as far as what I experience, is whenever you're creating something. Consuming and getting things and reaching financial goals, it never gives you that sense of satisfaction that you think is going to come along with it. I've experienced this myself. I've had moments in my life where I've gotten large windfalls of money unexpectedly. You would think that if you get a big chunk suddenly dumped unexpectedly into your checking account, and now you're able to pay all your bills and not worry about money, you would think that that would just solve all your problems, but it just solves financial problems. It doesn't solve your deep internal problems. But creation, putting your hands to use to create something and make something that's putting some positivity out into the world, that gives you a sense of satisfaction that you get instantaneously, in my experience. So I just thought this was a really good video that a lot of people probably need to hear. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together. Don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to go to www.barry-stepp.com if you'd like to purchase yourself a shirt or a hat. It helps me support the channel, and I greatly appreciate everybody that's ordered anything so far. All that out of the way, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. I hope everybody has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.